Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, boy, howdy, do we have a lot to talk about today. First off, we have, we have just gotten leaked footage pertaining to Mitch McConnell's very mysterious absence that raises, honestly, some very concerning questions. We're going to break that down. Also, in New York City, Communist Mayor Mamdani has just gotten caught, I kid you not, trying to organize a secret meeting with the Iranian regime. Yes, you heard that right. And as it relates to the Iranian regime, it seems as if President Trump is pretty much about to level the entire country. His patience has just run out. Also, back over here in the United States of America, Trump's DHS has just given all of the Democrats' beloved sanctuary states an ultimatum that, let's just say, they cannot refuse. Folks, we are now playing hardball against these sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. Everyone, my name is Matt Morris. Thank you all very much for being here today. Happy Saturday morning. You are tuning into the Morris Report, folks. With that introductory preamble out of the way, make sure to go check out the MorrisReport.com, MorrisReport.com. But folks, you know what? We have a lot to talk about today. Let's just go ahead and get right into the news. First off, folks, this story about Mitch McConnell that just every single day gets more bizarre, increasingly weird, very, very strange. At this point, it's not just weird, it's like very concerning, perhaps even a national security threat. We're going to break it all down. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just this morning gotten a series of leaked videos pertaining to Senator Mitch McConnell's very curious disappearance. And I'll tell you what, as if things weren't insane already, things have just gotten even more insane. Now, Mitch McConnell has officially been in the hospital for 28 days now. No one has seen him. No one has publicly heard from him. All we've heard about this from his own senatorial staff is that he's currently in the hospital and that he is recovering. Getting better is what that means. I don't know about that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we kick off this segment by taking a look at some of this leaked footage that has come out this morning. First off, Mitch McConnell's home in Washington, D.C. is now getting new flooring, new carpet, new floorboards as McConnell is in the hospital. Take a look at this. This is a worker, a contractor, coming out of Mitch McConnell's house, carrying sort of a pallet of various carpet samples, blue carpet, red carpet, beige carpet. So we know he's getting new carpet. They're putting in new floorboards also in McConnell's Washington, D.C. house. An investigative reporter actually walked up to these contractors and asked them point blank, hey, what's going on here? A contractor leaving Republican Senator Mitch McConnell's D.C. home said he was measuring for new flooring. Another man exiting the home says he isn't sure if Elaine Chao, McConnell's wife, is even in D.C. at all. Take a look.
How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
You know anything with the senator, in Mr. McConnell? Do you know how he's doing? You were just coming out of their house.
Oh, I was there to just measure for flooring.
Gotcha.
Okay.
He's just measuring for the flooring.
Do you know when she'll be back? Elaine Chao?
No idea. Yeah, I'm only...
Do you know she's in the country?
I don't know. Sorry.
But I saw the flooring guy going in. They getting flooring? Like, are they doing home improvements right now? Or?
I don't know. I just come in there. Sorry.
All right, take care.
Okay, folks, I don't want to sound like a crazy schizophrenic conspiratorial nut job here, but when I'm looking at these carpet samples, they're putting in new floorboards, they've got contractors going into the house doing renovations to the floor specifically, I'm thinking they're trying to cover something up. You know, maybe somebody's blood or some other, I don't know, liquid got spilled or dumped on the floor. They got to get rid of the carpet, get rid of the floorboards, put new flooring in. I don't know. This is very, very curious to say the least. But now, okay, honestly, this next bit of news is even more curious. I've got some more sort of behind the scenes footage to share with you. But first, I want to say, do me a favor, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to follow the channel if you have not already. YouTube, Rumble. Find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Go drop a 5-star review. But folks, take a look at this. We have an investigative reporter on the ground behind Mitch McConnell's DC residence, looking around. It gets very strange.
All right, everyone. So I'm back behind the back of Senator McConnell's home. So I came this morning and there's a giant Junk King truck that's parked behind his house. So I found out there's this brick house right behind his house that I think McConnell owns as well. It's called Justice.
Yes.
It's on Justice Court. Anyways, his daughter, one of his daughters, is tied back to that address. So here's the junk truck. So here's the odd thing. All the stuff's being moved out of a neighbor's house. So this neighbor's house is actually physically connected to McConnell's house. So I don't know if there's some like door where you could move things from McConnell's house over to this house, but
Well, real quick, I was reading this morning that this neighbor's house that is physically connected, it's like a big condo unit sort of brick building, that McConnell actually owns this neighbor's house as well, that he's the landlord. Okay.
there's a lot of stuff being pulled out of this house. Here, hold on, let me show you guys. And then
So look at this here.
like, look, there's a ton of stuff in here. They're pulling out a lot of stuff here. Like, this is kind of cool, but anyways. So it's all, this is owned by McConnell. So this is the back of his house. And here's also what's odd. The Cat Police are like guarding one of the entrances into here. So again, this could be like, I mean, this could just be a really odd coincidence, but they're pulling a lot of crap out of the house next door. So
They sure are.
anyways, I'll keep everyone updated, but yeah, that's what's at least happening behind Mitch McConnell's house. It could, again, just be a coincidence.
Well, here's the deal. Okay, at this point, things are just very, very curious. McConnell's in the hospital for 28 days. No one has seen his wife. We're going to talk about the wife, Mrs. Chow, the CCP spy, probably here in a moment. McConnell's in the hospital 28 days. Nobody's seen from him. Nobody's heard from him, at least not publicly. What's more, now they're laying down new carpet and new floorboards inside of McConnell's house, the house that is next to, physically attached to McConnell's house, that reportedly he owns as well. He's the landlord of. They're pulling out old furniture. It's almost like they're gutting the place. They're cleaning everything out, and they're pulling it out of this neighbor's attached house that McConnell owns allegedly. Very, very curious. But okay, folks, now, honestly, this next bit of news that we're going to talk about, I'm not even happy about covering. I wish I didn't have to talk about this because I want to like the guy that we're about to talk about, but Republican commentator on CNN, Scott Jennings, has just found himself in some very hot water after saying that last week he personally had a private 20-minute long phone call with Mitch McConnell, who was in the hospital. You see, CNN released a statement this morning, Scott Jennings' employer, saying this: CNN has issued a statement to the Daily Beast regarding Scott Jennings' alleged 20-minute phone call with Senator Mitch McConnell. Quote, as a CNN political commentator, Scott Jennings is not a full-time employee or journalist for the network. His account of a personal conversation with Senator McConnell reflects his experience and is not our CNN reporting. So this is very interesting because what has happened this morning is CNN has come out. They're playing coverage for themselves. They're playing defense. They don't want to be held legally liable or liable in any other way for Scott Jennings' story that he had a 20-minute phone call with McConnell. CNN is like distancing from Jennings and his story that he talked about a couple days ago. Hey, we don't have anything to do with that. We're not liable for this. Okay. He's just a political commentator. We do not endorse this Scott Jennings story. Then Scott Jennings said this yesterday afternoon on CNN. Take a listen.
By the way, as a political matter, remember, he's retiring. His final term in the Senate will end here at the end of this year. So he's not on the ballot for re-election. He's going to be replaced by another senator in November. So we're coming down to the end of his storied service here. But I think Even though that's true, he still has a few weeks to go. And I know from talking to him the other day, there's a bunch of issues he's still interested in and some votes that he wants to cast.
He has a few weeks to go. Scott Jennings said yesterday, I talked to him the other day, and he has a few more weeks to go. We're going to break down what that means.
I think sort of packaging all this up and telling people what happened and what the status is would be a great idea by Monday, and hope they do that.
Okay, well, today's Saturday. Now, here's the thing. Scott Jennings seems to have just royally messed up and said the quiet part out loud on CNN, reported by Kylie Jane Kramer. Now, take a look at this. She says, while discussing Senator Mitch McConnell's career coming to an end and the upcoming November election, Jennings said McConnell, quote, has a few weeks to go. You just heard him say that. That immediately struck me because McConnell's Senate term is actually scheduled to come to an end on January 3rd, 2027, roughly 25 weeks from now, or just 1 week shy of 6 months from now. That is a lot longer than, quote, just a few weeks, as Scott Jennings just said on CNN. The timing matters particularly because of the August 3rd Kentucky deadline that affects how a Senate vacancy is handled under Kentucky state law. If McConnell were to die, God forbid, prior to August 3rd, a special election has to be called. If McConnell dies, God forbid, after August 3rd, the seat will remain vacant and the November election will proceed as normal. McConnell is either brain dead or dead already, and they are trying to hide it from the American people. Why? Let's talk about the why. Why? Because the rhinos in Congress are doing every single thing they can to block President Trump's Save America Act. That is why they have been lying about the 20-minute phone calls with Senator John Thune and Senator John Barrasso, as well as Scott Jennings. Shame on all of them. This reporter says it's John Thune and Barrasso, McConnell allies, rhinos, who have similarly said, yeah, we had 20-minute phone calls. Scott Jennings also said the same thing. Are they playing coverage for him? Is this a rhino plot? CNN needs to fire Scott Jennings for blatantly lying. This is what Kylie Jane Kramer says. We saw CNN distance themselves from Scott Jennings earlier today. Senator John Thune and Senator John Barrasso both need to be stripped of their leadership positions. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear needs to call for a special election to replace Mitch McConnell. The State Department needs to alert the public to Elaine Chao's whereabouts after she was in China meeting with the vice president of the CCP while her husband is in a hospital bed. We don't even know if she's back in the US yet. She might still be in China. We're going to talk about that more here in a moment. The State Department needs to alert the public to Elaine Chao's whereabouts after she had a secret meeting with the CCP. Most importantly, President Trump needs to force Congress to pass the Save America Act immediately or veto the housing bill. Yep. It is time to let McConnell go peacefully if he isn't already dead, so that the country can begin to move on. After more than 40 years in the Senate, Weekend at Bernie's is how his legacy will be remembered. 40 years in the Senate, and before that, he was in the House, mind you. These people are playing games with the lives of the American people. This is messy, and it is a stain on America as we as a country celebrate our 250th birthday. Our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves. Now, okay, on top of that, we have some very curious info about McConnell's CCP wife. I said we're going to talk about her today. One thing driving me absolutely crazy about the Mitch McConnell situation is that no one has publicly confirmed whether or not Elaine Chao, McConnell's CCP wife, is even back in the United States of America or not. No reporter, no investigative journalist, no verified public sighting. An unnamed source sent an unverified email to the Daily Beast news outlet stating her husband's health didn't warrant an immediate return. What? Okay, I'm sorry. I might be husband of the year, but if my wife is comatose in a hospital or has a cardiac arrest and she is taken by ambulance to the hospital as McConnell was, if my wife is 28 days in the hospital recovering, you want to know where I am? I am at her bedside in the hospital holding her hand, surrounding her with love and family. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Elaine Chao, McConnell's CCP wife, she says, this doesn't warrant an immediate return. Perhaps I'm going to remain in the CCP, having secret meetings with CCP officials. This is insane. We are expected to simply accept that she's back stateside without any independent confirmation. Meanwhile, she was meeting with the CCP officials in China while her husband remains hospitalized. The lack of transparency surrounding this entire situation is extraordinary. Something is very, very wrong. And she says, where is the State Department on all of this? She tags Marco Rubio, State Department. You know, it's fair. I think at this point it's been 28 days. I think, honestly, it's fair to say, listen, State Department, anybody, what is going on with our senator? What's going on here? Here's the deal. I want to give you some more information here. I haven't seen anybody else talking about this. Okay, folks, Mitch McConnell currently sits on the Senate Appropriations Committee, which has currently 15 Republicans and 14 Democrats sitting on it. So now that Mitch McConnell is AWOL, he's missing, he's in the hospital, we don't even know if he's alive, guess what? There's not enough Republicans to move any single appropriate package, none of them, out of this committee phase. Meaning, if this problem with McConnell doesn't get resolved soon, like immediately, we might be looking at, guess what? Another government shutdown. Folks, we talked about whether or not this might be a rhino plot that the rhinos are playing coverage for. I don't know, trying to stall out the Save America Act. Is it possible that this is a CCP plot, a CCP orchestrated attempt to not only stop the Save America Act, but also to shut down the government? That Elaine Chao is, I don't know, because keep in mind, she's his wife. She's in control of what happens to McConnell if he's comatose in the hospital on life support. She might be saying, yeah, no, keep him alive on life support. He's in a coma. No, just keep him on life support. Don't let him go under. Don't let that thing flatline. We got to keep him alive technically in the hospital to prevent anything from happening in the Senate. So we might be looking at a rhino plot at the same time, a CCP plot. Good Lord, ladies and gentlemen, we said 5 minutes ago that our founding fathers would be rolling over in our grave. Yeah, seems to be the case. Folks, we got to do something about this. That is what it's going to take if we truly want to put America first. We need more information. At this point, it is fair to say State Department, Trump administration, step in here. What is going on? We got to put America first. CCP wife. Couldn't be me. I don't have a CCP wife. Do you have a CCP wife? My wife isn't having secret meetings with the vice president of the Chinese Communist Party. Is your wife having secret meetings with the vice president of the Chinese Communist Party? My wife is not. This is absolutely insane. This is absolutely insane. Okay, we're gonna be covering these Mitch McConnell updates every single day, folks. At this point, I want to give a quick shout out to MorrisReport.com. MorrisReport.com, ladies and gentlemen, 100% everything made in America. We've got hats. I'm wearing one today. Morris Forest, Morris Report, Republic t-shirts, 100% made in America. It's real good stuff. I know some of you have already started getting your merchandise. It's really a great way to support the show, to support the broadcast. Perhaps the number one single best way to support the show, if you are so inclined, is to go sign up for our weekly Morris Report. It's called the Weekly White Pill Newsletter. You'll find a link to it on MorrisReport.com, the Weekly White Pill Newsletter. Between you and me, I got so sick of every single day. I see podcasters, I see talking heads. They're saying, it's over, the Republic is over, the Democrats won, the communists won, Trump has betrayed us, blah, 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 blah. You've heard it all before. I said, this is baloney. It's not even true. And so I said, you know what? We're going to put together a weekly newsletter every single week, bullet point, listing off all of the ways in which we are actually saving this republic and making positive steps to undo all the damage that they have caused. It's called the Weekly White Pill. Go find it on MorrisReport.com. That's, between you and me, probably the single best way to support the show. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much. Folks, with that out of the way, we have another massive story, okay? And now we're going to be talking about the Middle East and a certain communist mayor that we have here in the United States of America. His name is Mamdani. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not, but the communist mayor, Mamdani, over in New York City, well, they just got caught trying to set up a secret meeting with the Iranian regime. Seriously, What's more, I'm just going to be blunt here. President Trump seems to currently be on the cusp of pretty much wiping out the entire country of Iran altogether. Okay, things are getting very serious. Let's go ahead and break it all down. First off, Mamdani, the Trump administration reportedly stepped in this morning to cancel a meeting between New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's office and the Iranian regime. Here's a statement. It is unconscionable that a New York City official would even consider meeting with the Iranian ambassador to the United Nations, is who it was, a man who consistently works to undermine United States interests and whitewash his regime's crimes against the United States, our allies, and Iran's own citizens. This is a statement from the State Department. The State Department said a senior official in Mamdani's office planned to speak with Iranian ambassador to the UN as the US and Iran resumed military strikes over the weekend. Wow, we have another report, some more information. The US State Department just shut down a planned meeting between Iran and communist New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani's administration. The woman's name is Anna Maria Archila, a senior Mamdani official. She was set to meet with Iranian representatives at the United Nations this upcoming Tuesday. When the Trump administration found out, the State Department stepped in and canceled the meeting. Yeah, folks, okay, I understand this is a very powerful word. Treason, traitor. Is it a fair word to use in this case? Let me know in the live chat or the comment section down below. This is traitorous. This is insane. Now, as all of this is happening, I mean, I have to say, is anybody surprised that the communist Ugandan third world mayor of New York, Mamdani, he hates white people, he hates this country, he's been very public about that. Is anybody surprised that he's trying to work with the Iranian regime? Or, I'm sorry, to be very clear, a member of his administration is planning secret meetings with the Iranian regime? This is like the least surprising news of all time, okay? You could have predicted this. Now, okay, as all of this is happening, as I said before, it seems as if President Trump is getting ready to pretty much level the entire country of Iran. Do me a favor, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already on YouTube and Rumble. Go find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Go drop a 5-star review. Helps a ton, but folks, okay, take a look at this. President Trump issued this statement late last night on Truth Social saying this. He says, 1,000 missiles are locked and loaded and aimed at the Islamic Republic of Iran, with thousands of more to immediately follow, should the Iranian government act on its threat, pronounced in many corners of the globe, to assassinate or to attempt to assassinate the sitting president of the United States of America. In this case, that is me, he says. Orders have already been given, and the U.S. military is ready, willing, and able for a 1-year period of time, subject to extension, to completely decimate and destroy all areas of Iran. Trump himself, he says, praise be to Allah, sort of mocking them. Praise be to Allah. Signed, President Donald J. Trump. So Trump says, listen, if you even try it, not even if you're successful, unsuccessful, if you even try to take out the president of the United States of America, who happens to be President Donald J. Trump, then we've got 1,000 missiles. He says, we're going to bomb your country for a year, nonstop. We are going to unload. We're going to destroy, he says, all areas of Iran. Praise be to Allah, he says, mocking them. Now, I want to show you something else. In response to this statement from President Trump on Truth Social, we saw this breaking news. Iranian officials privately told Trump advisors that they made a mistake in shooting at commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz 3 days ago, that the attacks stemmed from an errant sect of hardliners inside of Iran who are trying to undermine negotiations and that they want to keep talking. Senior U.S. officials told CBS News, the White House wants the regime to publicly acknowledge the mistake, which the Trump administration views as a violation of the ceasefire. Yeah, duh. Trump has directed his team, led by Vance, Kushner, Witkoff, and Rubio, to continue negotiations. The talks are set to take place in Oman. The U.S. will respond using military and economic leverage if Iran continues to engage in hostile acts, the official said. Okay, what's more, the Trump administration has given the Iranian regime a 24-hour window to come out and publicly acknowledge their mistake of firing on these civilian vessels in the Hormuz a couple days ago. They're saying, okay, if you're sending us private secret messages saying, hey, it wasn't us, it was a mistake, our bad, we want to keep on talking, we want the ceasefire to remain intact. Okay, well, listen, then you need to come out and publicly say it. You've got 24 hours. That's what the Trump administration has said as well. Take a listen to this.
Polls. U.S. officials have insisted part of the problem with reaching a long-lasting agreement is that the leadership structure in Iran is fragmented, and there are hardliners who are pushing for aggressive action. This comes as reports have surfaced about a new Iranian plan to kill President Trump. The president warning on Truth Social 1,000 missiles are locked and loaded and aimed at the Islamic Republic of Iran, with thousands of more to immediately follow should the Iranian government act on its threat, pronounced in many corners of the globe to assassinate or attempt to assassinate the sitting president of the United States of America, in this case, me. Orders have already been given. Despite the tensions, Iran state media says the regime's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi is in Oman for negotiations. His focus is reportedly on the safe passage of vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. Araghchi saying Iran has so far kept its word, unlike the so-called U.S. Treasury Secretary who was violating Para 9 of the MOU.
Really?
That violation follows other violations and missteps by the United States. Reality check, there can only be mutual compliance. Iran state media is also reporting the supreme leader will issue a message in the coming hours regarding the funeral of the late Ayatollah Khamenei. Charlie, Rachel, and Griff.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you something here. President Trump issued this 24-hour ultimatum. Hey, you got to come out and publicly acknowledge that you did not mean, or it was an accident or whatever, you did not mean to attack these 3 civilian vessels. That 24-hour clock is ticking. Complicating this entire situation is, guess what? We actually got that statement from Iran's supreme leader that she was just speaking about. Iran's supreme leader, who is pretty much at this point perhaps nothing more than a sock puppet, because we don't even know if the guy is alive or in a coma or God knows what else is going on. You know, we might have the IRGC radicals inside of the regime that are speaking on behalf of him. He might not even be alive. Well, okay, so this statement from him, we just got it. Breaking news. As the 24-hour deadline approaches, Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, announces in a written message that revenge for his father is the will of our people and must certainly be carried out. Mojtaba Khamenei then allegedly added, these criminals, all of whom are fully identified from the most senior to the most junior, will take to their graves the dream of dying peacefully in their beds. Okay, so to be very clear, as this 24-hour sort of deadline ultimatum is continuing on here, the supreme leader, or whoever is operating his account, operating his auto pen, God knows what they have over there, he comes out and says, yeah, we are pursuing a path of revenge, and we're going to kill everybody involved with killing my father, the former supreme leader. So he's talking about Trump. He's talking about Hegseth. He's talking about Rubio. Of course, this is who he's talking about, because it was them, it was Trump, etc., et al., who gave the command to blow him up. And of course, he's talking about Netanyahu and Israel, whatever. Okay, so they are still talking smack. Now, we got this report. You might have heard that maybe 2 days ago, the Iranian regime, all across Iran, they held a big funeral procession for the recently obliterated former supreme leader, Khamenei Sr. Well, all across Iran, they had demonstrations like this talking about taking out President Trump. I mean, they're holding up signs that says, hey, Trump, we will kill you. There will be blood, with a picture of Trump and a scope over his head or a whatever. They say, we will kill Trump. Kill Trump. That's what they're saying. That message has been displayed on massive banners all across the country of Iran. and signs all across Iran as thousands gather for slain Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's burial ceremony the other day in Iran. The crowd repeatedly vowed revenge for Khamenei's death, with signs also threatening Vice President J.D. Vance, War Secretary Pete Hegseth, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The threats and calls to avenge Khamenei come after he was killed in Israeli strikes in February, which also reportedly killed several other family members of the Khomeinis. So this is what's going on across the entire country. And we also have this, okay? And this is the most recent report, breaking news as of about 90 minutes ago. So this is where things currently stand. Breaking news. Iran directly rejects the United States ultimatum, declaring that the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed to all lanes except the northern Iranian route, which is their toll route. They're charging tolls or attempting to. And any decisions regarding the strait are made solely by Iran and Oman, per informed sources to Tasnim News, an Iranian news outlet. Iran says Axios and U.S. official claims regarding announcing the opening of all lanes of the strait are dismissed, and any decisions on the future arrangements of the Strait of Hormuz and the responsibility of Iran in consultation with Oman. So they have just come out, allegedly, and totally flat out rejected this 24-hour timeline, this ultimatum that Trump gave them. You need to come out and publicly say that it was a mistake to attack these ships. You need to say sorry, and then you need to open up the Hormuz. Well, allegedly, they have turned that down. So, folks, as I said, perhaps it is safe to infer at this point, this is where things seem to be going. It seems as if President Trump is about to teach whatever is left of the Iranian regime and their sock puppet Muppet leader a very explosive lesson. Folks, we were talking about this 2 or 3 days ago. It really seems like President Trump has had enough of the belligerence, the defiance, of the trash talk. Trump came out the other day. He called them scum. He called them scum. He says, you know what? Perhaps we're going to solve all of our problems in the Middle East over here with Iran without a deal. He said, well, what does that look like? If you don't have a deal, what do you have? You have a bunch of bombs getting dropped. You have a bunch of bombs, Tomahawk missiles, airstrikes. You have a bunch of explosions. It means they need to learn a very explosive lesson. He said, you know what? We might open up the Hormuz. Might be difficult, might be like pulling teeth. We might open up the damn Strait of Hormuz without a deal. We might blow it open, he says. That nuclear dust, the highly enriched weapons-grade uranium that is buried in that Iranian bunker, he says, we might just go in there and get it, guns blazing. We might just have to blow up everybody in the region and then send a team in and get it out, extract it, guns blazing on our own. Without a deal, with or without a deal. That seems to be the point that Trump is at right now. Seems like he's kind of losing patience. Okay. And you know what? I said this a couple days ago. Whether or not you are pro-Trump, anti-Trump, you support the conflict, you don't, you hate it, you love it, whatever, you're left, you're right, you're American, you're not American. I really sincerely believe every single person on every single side of this equation must give President Trump some credit here. Trump has genuinely, sincerely, legitimately done every single thing he can to pursue a path of peace. Like, how many chances has he given to these people? In fact, you could even levy a criticism of Trump that he has been too lenient, that Trump has tried too hard. He's extended too many olive branches to these people, because every single time he extends an olive branch, they just spit right in his face. I don't know, they keep taking advantage of the goodwill, the good graces Trump is extending. Seems like Trump is run out of patience here. Maybe it's about time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another massive story here. We're talking a little bit more domestically here now. I think you folks are going to like this news. I saw this news coming out this morning and really nobody was covering this. This is a big deal, what we're about to talk about. Massive deal. We're talking about some domestic issues. We're talking about mass deportations. We're talking about sanctuary cities. The Democrats' beloved sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. And of course, when we say sanctuary, are these sanctuary cities, as they're called, are these sanctuary cities or sanctuary states for actual hardworking tax-paying Americans that are trying to live their life in peace and raise their family or retire in peace? What? No. These states and these cities are hell on earth for actual productive, legitimate Americans. The only sanctuary that is provided for illegal aliens, violent criminal cartel gang members, human traffickers, drug dealers, fentanyl drug dealers. It's a sanctuary for those people. For us, these cities, these states are hell on earth. Seriously. Well, they're shutting them down. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is the moment that we have all been waiting for. 4 months ahead of the 2026 midterms, the Trump administration has just gone scorched earth against all of the Democrats' sanctuary states, as they are called. Specifically, all of the voter fraud that has been taking place inside of these sanctuary states. And I'll tell you what, as a little example here, over in Gavin Newsom's California, they are not very happy right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and break it all down. We have a report coming out this morning. Breaking news, President Trump's DHS goes nuclear on sanctuary states. A statement made this morning. DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen has just announced that all United States localities, tribes, and territories receiving funding from FEMA's Homeland Security Grant Program must now adopt common sense election security measures to continue to qualify for the FEMA funding. These measures include, but are not limited to, 1, they now need to use the USCIS SAVE system to verify citizenship of all registered voters in the relevant voter registration database. So all of these sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, territories, localities, now all of them need to use the federal USCIS SAVE system to verify that every single person on the voter rolls are in fact U.S. citizens. Folks, this is big. If they don't, they lose their FEMA funding. We are playing hardball now. What's more, every single state, locality, territory, etc., needs to conduct a manual audit going forward of at least 5% of all ballots cast in federal elections. These audits must be physical hand counts rather than machine rescans. You got to count them by hand and make sure that they are legit every single time, at least 5% of the ballots. Okay. Every single state, locality, territory, etc. now must use the USCIS SAVE system to verify U.S. citizenship for election workers, poll workers, and those operating election systems. Well, yeah, this seems like a no-brainer, but wait a minute. This sort of makes you realize, oh my good Lord, folks, in these sanctuary cities, in these sanctuary states, we had non-citizens operating their election software, counting the ballots, work in the election hubs. Folks, we had non-citizens, perhaps even illegal aliens, counting the damn votes, operating the election machines, tabulating the ballots. What? Yeah, that's been going on. And now we're shutting it down. Now we need proof of citizenship for the people actually counting the votes and operating the equipment. Okay, good. What's more, all of these states, localities, cities, etc., now they need to phase out voting systems that use barcodes or QR codes and instead switch to equipment that exclusively accepts hand-marked paper ballots to create a verifiable paper trail and chain of custody for every single ballot and vote that is cast. We're solving a lot of very big issues here. In total, sanctuary states across the country are set to lose over $1 billion in annual federal funding if they choose not to comply. So here's the message, okay? You are, as a matter of fact, going to work with the federal government to ensure election security. And if you don't, you're losing all your federal funding. We're cutting you off from the federal taxpayer gravy train. We're cutting you off. We're playing hardball now, folks. We are strong-arming them into complying. Now, we also have another little tidbit of good news I want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, take a look at this. The United States government is now moving ahead with brand new plans to establish a government-owned aircraft fleet to aid in deportation operations around the clock 24/7. The Department of Homeland Security is seeking a contractor to operate and maintain 2 C-37B planes or equivalent Gulfstream 650ERs and 7 Boeing 737-700s or similar aircraft for nonstop, continuous 24/7 deportation flights at all times every single day. Folks, the deportation machine is ramping up. Let me give you some numbers here. Illegal alien arrests and deportation flights are skyrocketing. As of May 2026, so a month and a half ago, more than 900,000 illegal aliens have been arrested by ICE since President Trump stepped back into the White House. More than 900,000. Check this out. Listen very carefully here. Approximately 400,000 of those 900,000 illegal alien arrests took place during April and May of 2026, a very short 2-month time frame. Folks, 900,000 have been arrested by ICE in the last year and a half. 400,000 of those 900,000 took place just in the last couple months, to April and May of 2026. We are ramping up exponentially. The word exponential is an understatement, okay? We are skyrocketing. The rate at which we are arresting illegal aliens is through the roof. Check this out. Talk about deportation flights. The number of deportation flights has recently soared up to 300 per month. That's 10 per day. More than double the number of 126 deportation flights that took place in February of 2025. So it seems like the new strategy here is just ramping up deportation flights. Now, this number 300 per month, that was last month. This is before, we haven't even, that report we walked through a moment ago, where the DHS is looking to set up a new special contractor operation to bring on even more deportation flights, that hasn't even happened yet. And already the deportation flights are soaring, no pun intended. Another report here, after building out dozens of third nation deportation agreements, deportation flights are now flying to a total of 33 individual countries. Since January of 2025, over 2.2 million illegal aliens have self-deported and voluntarily exited the country on their own. So we talked about 900,000 arrests. That's on top of 2.2 million self-deportations. And the rate at which we're getting these people out of the country, folks, is skyrocketing, is soaring, no pun intended, because of these deportation flights. Something else here. Okay, you want to talk about operations ramping up? This is yesterday afternoon, we got a report. The Department of Homeland Security has just purchased not one, but 2 California state immigration detention centers for a price tag of $1.5 billion. So if anybody here thought that things were ramping down, opposite. In fact, DHS just purchased 2 immigration detention centers to the tune of $1.5 billion just in the last 2 days. Folks, this is in California. This is perhaps the number one hotspot in the country for illegal alien activity. We are setting up detention facilities in their own backyard. Gavin Newsom is not happy about it. He's having a meltdown right now. He's probably crying in his bedroom right now. What's more, take a look at this. Okay. Just in breaking news, this is a report from this morning. United States employers across the country have just reportedly been told by the Trump administration to get ready to fire hundreds of thousands of immigrant workers as their temporary legal status and their work permits expire. We keep winning all these Supreme Court battles in the appellate courts, overturning temporary protected status for all of these TPS immigrants, these workers that were brought in during the Obama era. And even before, we got TPS overturned for the Venezuelans. We recently got TPS overturned for a bunch of the Somalians and the Haitians as well. TPS is done. Temporary means temporary, not permanent. And so now the Trump administration came out today and said, hey, listen, their TPS is set to expire. Employers, anybody that's been employing these TPS workers, you better get ready to fire them because they're going home. You need to find new workers here pretty soon. What does that mean? Hire American. U.S. employers have been told to fire hundreds of thousands of TPS workers from Haiti, as well as 6 other nations. Work permits for Haitian TPS holders are set to expire on July 24th, while those issued to TPS holders from Ethiopia, Myanmar, Somalia, South Sudan, Syria, and Yemen are set to expire on July 17th. You better fire them. They're going home. Now it's time to hire some actual Americans, American jobs for American workers, America first. It's really not that complex. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, we are getting these people out of the country at an ever increasing rate. We're picking up speed. We are snowballing. We're overturning TPS. We're getting them out of the country as well. The border remains secure. We've had, 13 months? Has it been 13 months of 0 releases across our border inside of this country? Complete and total lockdown, folks. This is what it looks like to truly put what? America first. Ladies and gentlemen, big news today, really, on the immigration front, on the sanctuary city front, on the deportation flight front. Things are looking good. Things are looking good. You know, I've been hearing people on the internet here for a long time, for the last, really ever since President Trump stepped back in the White House. They've been saying, you might have heard them, deportations aren't happening. There's no mass deportations. Trump lied about the deportations. He's not deporting anybody. Well. Like, quite literally, every single metric that we have indicates the exact opposite. We have proof. We know, as a matter of fact, mass deportations are happening. They have been happening, and every single day they are becoming increasingly massive. And if you really want to follow all of the mass deportation news, all of the developments, my recommendation here is to go to morrisreport.com, and go sign up for our weekly newsletter. It's called the Weekly White Pill. We break down all of these breaking news, America first accomplishments, the ways in which we actually are saving this country. And we are, step by step, day by day. You can't do it immediately. It takes time, and we are. Go sign up for the weekly newsletter on morrisreport.com, the Weekly White Pill. It's going to keep you moralized. It's called the White Pill for a reason. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for being here today. Happy, Saturday? Happy Saturday afternoon. At this point, I would love to take a look at some of these super chats and Rumble rants, if you don't mind. Okay, let me pull up. I'm going to do the Rumble rants first here, folks. I see some of them. I'm seeing some of them here. Take a look at this. We have our first Rumble rant. This is from Lieutenant Colonel USAF, retired. He says, Air Morse. Yes, I can go both ways, Rumble and the Tube. He's on both. Well, some days he's on YouTube, some days he's on Rumble. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's what I call my father-in-law. I'm not going to say his last name, but I say Air. I'm not going to say his last name, my father-in-law. Thank you. He's a German man, a real German man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Good to see you, sir. Thank you very much again. Thank you very much. This is from Emeril here over on Rumble. Says, thank you for all you do, Matt. Appreciate your positive reporting. America first. Thank you very much. You know, I don't want any drama. Sometimes I watch some of these other podcasters and they go live, they're doing their show, and it's almost like they're half asleep. It's like low energy. It's like they're clocking into work. They put in the punch card, they do the show, and ladies and gentlemen, this is happening, and then Donald Trump said this, and then and I'm like, come on, where's the energy? Like we have a country to save. Are you just showing up to work, putting in your hours and going home? Let's go. Where's the oomph? You know what I mean? We've got good news to talk about every single day. I'm excited. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now we have some super chats. Gotta wake up. Thank you very much. Okay, I need to pull up the YouTube super chats here. I've got them here. And we have quite a few to go through here today. Good Lord. Yes, we do. The first one is from a lovely woman. Her name is Mrs. Patricia Luna. Thank you very much, Mrs. Luna. She says, I finally made a live show. I loved your formal Friday outfit yesterday. And as always, well, thank you very much. Your entertaining looks when the dumbs are talking. Keep it up, Matt. Oh, we love our Made in America Morris Force shirts. They're good, okay? And I don't want to sit here and complain and whine or brag or whatever the hell you would even call this. It would have been much easier, and I probably would have made much more money selling a bunch of merchandise made in China or made in Bangladesh. A lot of it's Bangladesh. I found out a lot of it's in Myanmar and Bangladesh and China. Man, it would have been real easy, but no, we had to do it American. You have to do it American. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Luna, Mrs. Luna. Patricia, if I may, thank you very much. Thank you. Listen, I understand why everybody has all their stuff manufactured in Southeast Asia. You make way more money, like the profit margins are bigger. It's true. But also you're screwing over your country. Is it worth it? You're screwing over American workers, you're screwing over the nation to pad your profit margins. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? No. No. Thank you, Mrs. Luna. We have another one here from Air Morris 1. There's another fabulous day. Air Morris reporting and commentary. There he is. He's everywhere. Air Morris. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It means Mr. in German. Thank you. He's everywhere. This guy's everywhere. Justin Horton, he says, they are prepping the home to sell, nothing sinister. Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe, or maybe not. I think there's something pretty weird going on with his absence. We haven't seen him or heard from him publicly for 28 days. I think it's fair to start asking some questions, right? Yeah, no, it could be nothing sinister. It could be totally nothing sinister. Or it could be something very weird and very sinister. We're gonna keep on covering it. Thank you. Tom for Life says, happy weekend to you, Matt, and the Morris Force. I knew there was a potential date, August 3rd. They were trying to stall his health condition over. It's sad. I mean, I'm looking at the calendar, okay? They would have to stall him out another, 3.5 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. Is their plan seriously to keep Mitch McConnell's status of life, his health condition, private for another 3.5 weeks? That would put us at like 2 months total. Is that really the plan? Maybe it is. That's insane. That is insane. We the people demand some answers. This is wild. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Maybe it is their plan. Jared Lang says, now we know why Thune wanted his housing bill so bad. I'll be donating the maximum amount I can legally to whoever primaries him. We are going all in. Listen, I say this every single day. Come 2028, the Morris legions are marching. The Morris Force is marching. In 2028, we are marching. We will, and what I mean by that is we are, can't even see you guys. We are primarying John Thune. So we're going to primary John Thune. So yeah, we're going to do every single thing we can to primary John Thune. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I've got Jaron Lang with me right here. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Mr. Lang. We got to get rid of this guy. We march. Thank you. William T says, Democrat, Rhino, CCP, one and the same. They most certainly have a lot of common interests, don't they? Yeah, you can't help but notice that. If you have like a Venn diagram, Democrat, CCP, Rhinos, that area in the middle there, pretty big, isn't it? Yeah, there's a big overlap. I wish it wasn't so big, Mr. T. William T. I appreciate that. Morris Force 1 says, funny, last night I rewatched both Trump, Biden, Kamala presidential debates after being in the Morris Force. Man, the BS is crazy. It's crazy clear. Thank you, Matt, for being so amazing. A little bit of a throwback. Dude, that woman is so stupid. And I'm sorry this is rude. Kamala Harris is just so stupid. It's hard to imagine anyone voted for her. You know, I can acknowledge if a Democrat politician is like intelligent, even if I disagree with them, I can say, okay, he's a smooth talker. Okay, he has a reasonably high level of intelligence or IQ, even though I disagree with everything they say. You know, forgive me. I can understand why some people voted for Obama. Not that I'm endorsing him or not that I agree with anything he had to say. I get why people voted for him. Does that make sense? Kamala Harris, that woman was stupid. I cannot for the life of me understand why anybody voted for her. That woman was a nincompoop, complete and total moron. Yet what? It was 73 or 74 million people voted for allegedly. Okay. Oh, that's a big allegedly. Thank you, Morse Force. Raya. Good to see you, Raya. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. She says, love your show, Matt. The best and our Morse Force family, America first, Americans first. You know what? Reminder here, shout out the moderators. They're keeping the live chat in line, making sure nobody steps out of line. Thank you, moderators. Thank you very much. They're doing a good job. Thank you, Raya. Happy Saturday. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Hope life is good. Kevin Stankiewicz, he's back. He says, Chinese language social media is saying that Mitch McConnell's wife, Elaine Chao, went to the vice president of the CCP to arrange a life-saving organ transplant, forcefully harvested in China. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's what they're saying over in China. That's the Chinese coverage. That's the defense, is that Elaine Chao was trying to negotiate an organ transplant. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that. If I had to take a guess, I would guess that she was relaying classified intelligence that she got from her comatose husband over to the CCP. That would be my guess. That would be my guess. I want to, you know what? I want to look into how they met. I haven't done my due diligence here. I want to know, how did they meet? Where did they meet? What is their origin story? How did Mitch McConnell end up with Chao? I need to look into that. Maybe we'll talk about that another day, because that's a very curious dynamic. Old Concrete Lizard says, did you hear about Ro Khanna being detained in Palestine? He should have been arrested. Great. Yeah, I read the headline, but I don't have all the details. I was getting ready with the show this morning, and I saw he tried to go visit Palestinians or something, like in Palestine, and I think the IDF arrested him or detained him. They said, hey, we don't allow people to go. This is it's like a no-go zone, so they stopped him from going there. Yeah, I need to follow up. I read the headline, so I can't give you a good opinion on that. I need to get more information. Morris Force 1 says, gonna say this based off yesterday's show. Du bist der beste Bruder. Well, Dankeschön, mein Zuschauer. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, thank you very much. Listen, you guys keep speaking German in the super chats. I need to brush up a little bit. I'm getting a little bit rusty. Kawaii Arai says, best one-man show, Matt. How do we force the Senate's hand to vote McConnell out since he hasn't reported? I don't think you can. You can't vote him out, as far as I know. We're just like going with the flow. As insane as this flow is, we're just like going down the rapids. It really is insane. It's insane. Thank you very much. We're going whitewater rafting here. Kevin Stankiewicz says the allies, USA, UAE, KSA, and ISR, should airdrop weapons, Starlink, and special forces to help the rebels in Iran, including Kurds. You know, I'm sure this is all stuff that President Trump has really theory crafted and thought about. I'm sure they've broken all that down, how that would work, how it wouldn't work, the pros, the cons. You know, I think they're in control of the situation. Cheryl Courtwright says, I firmly believe Scott spoke with McConnell AI. You know, like, man, I want to believe something like that, because you want to like Scott Jennings. You want to like him. You want to like him. Now, there is something I will say here. I've got a good memory. After January 6th, I remember Scott Jennings was very publicly critical of Donald Trump. In 2021, Scott Jennings said that Donald Trump should not run or seek re-election. Scott Jennings is one of the talking heads, one of the talk show hosts that sort of kicked Donald Trump to the curb following the conclusion of his first presidential term. So is Scott Jennings playing a part? Is he secretly a rhino? Is he secretly deep down anti-Trump? I don't know. But he's going along with the McConnell narrative here. Maybe got to ask questions. I don't know. Maybe he spoke to McConnell AI. This is the problem. There's just so many loose ends and so many mystery boxes Like, all we can do is just ask the question, what the hell is going on? Like, what's going on here? That's all we can do. And I wish sincerely, I wish I had some answers for you guys. It's just insane. The entire situation is insane. I wish I had a conclusion here for you guys, but I don't. We're all just along for the ride. It's crazy. PDX67, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mr. PDX, every day he does it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. PDX. I'm going to do a reload here. Doing a reload here. Oh, yeah, we've got some more. Good thing I did that reload. Otherwise, I would have missed a couple of these. Another one from Morris Force 1. He says, whoa. Wait, what happened to the flannel left elbow? You caught that? I ripped it. You know what it is? I'm just so insanely muscular. I'm like a beast. I'm a freak of nature. I'm just bursting out of my clothes. No, if you want the honest answer is, as you might have noticed, I kind of wear the same thing every day, pretty much. This is my favorite shirt, and so I wear it probably 4 days a week. And I sit here, I'm typing with my elbows on my chair, and it rubs a hole. I worked a hole. How about this one? Look at that. I'm in tatters. My life is falling apart. My clothes are literally falling off my back. I'm falling apart. Thank you very much. Have you noticed I kind of wear the same thing every day? Maybe I'm a little bit autistic. I don't know. EK Realm says, thank you, Matt. Another great show. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday afternoon. Thank you. Old Concrete Lizard says, made in America, more expensive, but worth it. Worth it. It's true. It is true. I don't know, when I'm going shopping, when I'm at the store, I always look for made in America. If I can help it, sometimes you can't help it. If I can help it, you look for whatever's made in America, and even beyond that, whatever's local. You know, if you have the option, you buy your stuff locally, your local farmer's market. We buy local cheese and meat from the area, try to support the local economy. You know, it is more expensive. I guess it's kind of a luxury to do that. But if you have the opportunity, it's always nice. Thank you, Mr. Concrete Lizard. Thank you. Kevin Hunza, he says, you white nay get ton, they wear, okay, listen, I don't know. Are you speaking English? Sir, are you speaking English? I feel bad. It's a $50 super chat. I'm going to try to make sense of this. He says, they wear puffy jackets too. Height doesn't match. Prints don't match. Car don't match. Do come critical thinking. Don't be a libtard. Okay, sir. I think you're criticizing me, but honestly, I don't know, because your entire message is not, I don't know what you're saying. I wish I did, and I feel bad. It's a $50 super chat, but I don't know what you're saying. So here's what I'll say. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate that. It means a lot. I just can't make sense of that. Thank you very, very much for the super chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't know what that means. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, I'm not a libtard. Hey, I'm not a libtard. Thank you. We have another one. Steve Mills. Steve Mills, he says, Matt, you do so well. I watch 4 other channels, but you have the voice and manner to make yourself great. Keep it up. You do so well. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I'll tell you something. I spend all day 24/7 trying to come up with new ways to do more and get more stuff out there. One project I've been working on over the last couple of weeks is we have our website, morsereport.com. morsereport.com. I'm very close. We're very close to having actual 24/7 live updating news articles, written news articles that you can go read on your own free time, put out by me. I've got a crew helping out with the morsereport.com now. And so, hey, the operation is growing. We're going to have 24/7 news articles you can go read on your own time on the homepage of the website. So we're blossoming out. The operation is getting bigger. I told you, I've got a 20-year plan. Okay. Things are only getting bigger. Thank you very much. Big stuff on the horizon. Something to get excited about. Thank you, Mr. Mills. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Drinky Crow. Now that is a name. That's a name. Good to see you, sir. He says, Be honest, be honest. How did they arrest Lee Harvey Oswald? Why did they know video? Eyewitness how? Think no Google. You know, I'm going to be honest. I don't really have a Lee Harvey Oswald monologue for you today. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time relitigating the JFK assassination. I apologize, but we're not going to relitigate the magic bullet, Harvey Oswald today. Thank you very much for the support, though. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm personally kind of more concerned with the 50 million illegal aliens invading our country, that we need to get them the F out of here. I'm more focused on, like, we got to save the country now. We have some very pressing problems now, and we got to solve these issues. Thank you. I appreciate that. So really, that's what we spend a lot of time talking about. Jomita Goodwin says, Kamala Harris, we have to understand what it is we need to understand. Understanding what we don't understand is hard to understand. Dude, do you remember when she was asked, it was on some interview on the campaign trail, about the Russia-Ukraine war? The interviewer said, so what are your thoughts? What's going on here with this war in Eastern Europe? And she said, well, you see, Russia is a big country and Ukraine is a little country. And the big country attacked the little country, and that's wrong. And I'm not even defending Russia, but it's like, you are the vice, at this point, she was our vice president. She was campaigning to become our president. This woman is stupid. Like, that is your best geopolitical analysis, Madam Vice President. That's it. That's the extent of your understanding of anything going on here, is, well, it's a big country and it's a little country. This woman is stupid. I'm sorry I'm being so rude today. I'm so rude. Sorry. I'm being so disrespectful today. I'm sorry. I can't help it. We're talking about Kamala Harris. I'm being so disrespectful. Thank you. We have a Rumble rant here from Emerald. Says, Matt, you're hitting the big time. Got losers giving you thumbs down. Congratulations. You know what they say, judge me by my haters. I've noticed, listen, hey, I've noticed every single person that doesn't like me is stupid, fat, ugly, I don't know, probably not even American, really grotesque, hideous, ugly beasts, obese, fat, really just the worst people. The worst people. However, on the flip side, I'll tell you, everybody that loves this show, all the big supporters of this show, handsome, attractive, dare I say sexy, genius, ingenious, super smart, a good head of hair, okay, chiseled jawline, shredded abs. I've seen you guys, you guys and girls. I've seen the audience members. Really, just the best people, the most modest, the most humble are the members of this community. It's really something else. That's you guys. It's something else. I look at you. I say, wow, that's a good looking one. Okay, we have another one. This is from Mariah. Mariah, thank you very much. Good to see you. Welcome back. She says, yes, there's something going on. Democrats and Thune and others are on the button in attempt to boycott Trump. We are coming up in the primaries. Panic time. Remember to breathe, Matt. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, these rhinos, they better be taking deep breaths, because we are going to, you said we're coming up. We are going to replace them. We are replacing them. People forget this election cycle, we've already been able to successfully get rid of 2 rhinos. 2 have been primaried out already. And one of them, Trump just pretty much bullied. He bullied him into retiring. So we bullied one out. He said, you know what? I don't even want to run again. And then 2 of them we already primaried out. So we're making good headway. We're making good progress. Matter of fact. Thank you very much, Mariah. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have I missed anything? Okay, I want to make sure I do not miss anything here. We can't afford to miss any super. Okay, we've got a couple more. This is from Fido64. He says, hey, Matt, am I being shadow banned? I've sent you 2 $10 super chats that didn't get a thank you or a mention. Looked for my message and it wasn't there. So if I had to, I'm not sure. I haven't seen them. I've got the list up right here. I'm looking at it. If I had to guess at what's going on here, YouTube is kind of finicky with what words you can say and what words you can't say. If you're saying kind of, I don't know, like controversial words, then YouTube will censor the message or the super chat. So I'm not exactly sure. You're not shadow banned. I see this one. If I had to guess, that's probably what's going on, but I'm not sure. Thank you. Thank you for the missed super chats, and thank you for this one, though. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, whatever's going on here. Thank you very much. You know, on Rumble, they don't censor anything. Okay, nothing at all. So something to consider. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Fido. Thank you very much. YouTube is a little bit censorious sometimes. Cruz says, Matt, look into Mitch's seat replacement situation. We did a big segment on that, I think 2 days ago. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. 8-Bit Chad says, I love the news about deportations, but nervous that Indian visas are not being mentioned. Xbox laid off thousands of Americans and have 5,000 visa applications. You know, that entire H-1B situation, I think we talked about yesterday even. We had a segment on that about how Trump's, is it the DOJ? Yeah, it must be the DOJ that just yesterday or 2 days ago kicked off a big investigation into H-1B visa fraud. Now, here's what I'll tell you. Ideally, we just slowly reel back and shut down this entire program altogether. That's the dream scenario. That said, if we are working towards that long-term goal, if it is going to exist in some capacity still during that transitional process, I'd rather there be no fraud. There is a lot of fraud. We talked the other day about this massive H-1B visa university mill that was shut down in India. Actually, in Indian authorities working with U.S. authorities, they busted 28 universities in India that had pumped out over the last couple of years millions of fraudulent documents, credentials, university degrees that Indian workers were using to fraudulently acquire H-1B visas here in the United States of America. Yeah, so there's crackdowns like that. It's a big problem. H-1B stuff is a big problem. Paul Weymouth says, from the immortal words of Elvis, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. I think we're on top of it, folks. Dare I say, I think that's our show. I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in this Saturday. I appreciate it. It really has been one hell of a show. I will have three individual videos on YouTube and Rumble later this afternoon for you fine folks. Beyond that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be here. We're here 7 days a week. Somebody in the pre-show chat, they said, Matt's got to take a couple days off. It takes a ton of time to do the show, to do the research. Listen, we are full steam ahead. Unless I am forced to take a break. I don't know, some family emergency, something comes up, trip to the State Department, whatever, like we did a couple days ago. We're here nonstop, 7 days a week. I love to do it. It's my honor to do it. So we'll be here tomorrow, noon Western, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to keep on breaking it down. Thank you all very much for being here today. Lurkers, chatters, moderators, everybody, super chatters, everybody. Thank you very much. I'll see you folks tomorrow. Until then, God bless. Thank you very much and stay safe. Take care, folks.